Wah. Uh, Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Satria Rahmatullah Daha. My name is F1D02510084 and I will tell you about the first exercise. We need to create a program who receives two input integers from the user. After receiving the input of two integers, the program provides the output in the form of the largest integer entered by the user. This is the code we make by our group. In the fifth line, we initialize the variable a and b because we need to input two integers, a for integer 1 and b for integer b. A for integer 1, b for integer 2. And then in the sixth line, we print out masukkan angka, and then after that we input the value of a. Then the eighth line we print out again the masukkan angka, and after that we input the b value. Then after that we use an if statement. If a larger or equal to b, we print out. This is my group is using angka terbesar adalah, so it will print out an a because in the because a is larger than b, and else we see out the angka terbesar is b, because if a is not larger than b, then we see out the b. Okay. So I will run the code. This is the first example. If one of the input is positive, if two of the input a is larger than the input b, input a is input a is larger than input b. Then we got 4, which is correct. Then in the second run, input a is larger than input b is larger than input a. We got 2. And then what about the negative? We will try about the negative. If a is equals to -1 and b is equal to -2, we got the -1 because -1 is larger than -2. So now we're trying if the input a and input b are the same. So if I use the input a is 3 and then input 2 is 3, so the biggest one is 3. So yeah, that's what the output is. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Pradipta and I will continue the explanation from the Satya before. Here I will show you the question. Oh hell no, sorry, I'm sorry, this is not the question. Oh, this isn't the question. Okay, the exercise 2 tell us to input the two integer number, but the output is the largest odd integer. Nah, to make the program, we need to know about the modulo. Modulo is simple as is known as a reminder of the division. So let's check the hind here. Now, if 12 modulus 4, it will result in 0. Why? Because 12 divided by 4 is 3 with a remainder of 0. So I will show you what is the program looks like in the C++ form. So first, we need to include the IO stream, so that we can use cin or cout, and can display the output to the terminal or to the screen. And here I will declare the main function, which is where we can run the code properly. And here I will initialize the two variable with form of integer. The name of variable is a and b, And the next variable is max. Why? Maybe you are asking why I use this value for the maximum, for the initialized maximum value, because this value, yeah, 2 billion sekian, is the limit of the integer itself. Is the limit of the integer data itself. So I use that because it was the lowest point in the integer. And here as you can see here, I see out some display that will is our scene and is our input. And after the input, we will check the condition, whether it's whether the first integer, the first input is the first input modulo with 2 is not equal 0. If it's not, we will no, 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 no. Kar.
Hot atau
As you can see here, we are in the VS Code. So first, we need to include the library called IOStream so we can use cout and cin. And then I will declare the main function where we can run the code properly. At first, I need to initialize the input variable, which is A and B. And we need to initialize the maximum, where we can store the maximum value. But first, we need to ensure that the value of the max is the lowest value integer can store, which is this value. And after that, we need to say in to make the input for the user, and in A we need to store the value to A and for the B2. After we input the value, we need to check the A, whether the A modulo 2 is not equal to 0. And if it's yes, we will assign the max value with value of A we input before. But before that, before we can display the whole thing, we need to check the B again, whether the B modulo 2 is not 0, and B is higher than max, which is A, which is the max value is A before. And if it's yes, we need to assign the max value with the B. And yeah, this is for the case if it's the both of the value is even. So I will give you the showcase. Oh no, that's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I not mean to open that. All right, this is the showcase. Okay, we need all right. What if we input the both of the variable is odd number? First, we need input 3 and 5. If you know the logic, it will be result in 5. So if we enter it, it's 5. The largest odd integer is 5. But what if the both value is even? Or the even, let's say is 8 and 10. So the logic is no one will be displayed. So yeah, no one will be displayed. So yeah, that's from me. Maybe we will meet in the next in the next question. And yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Febran Syakolevi, and my student name is F1D02560008N2. So I will continue the explanation about exercise number 3 after the last exercise explained by our friend Zona. So this is the exercise number 3. The exercise number 3 taught how to make a program revise input of three integers from the user. After revising input the three integers, the program provides output of the form of the largest integer entered by the user. So we will make a program that will load three integers to get into the program, and the output will be the largest integer that we input. This is the code. So first we input the three integers, that is a, b, c, and this is integer max. We use to provide the largest integers in the end. Okay, so first out we input the integers a, b, c, and max. Then we make c out for the masukan angka for the integer a. Then we continue with c in, so we can input the integer of a. The second one, again, we make C out for masukan angka. This is for the second integer. We make it by the B. Then C in for the integer B, so we can add the number. The last one is C out for angka C, masukan angka C. And C in again for the C integers. And the last one is max. We use the max for the A because the first integer we input is A. Then the continue. Okay, we continue if the b is larger than the max for before the integer is max. Okay, if the b more larger than max, then max will be the b. Gimana sih cara ngejelasannya? Bentar. Okay, so this is the code. If b more large than max, then we assign the value of max with the b. Okay, and if continue if c more larger than the value of max, then we assign the value of max with c. Okay, then the c out is the last is angka terbesar adalah. Okay, c outnya is angka terbesar adalah become the max. Okay, the last with the c. Okay, I will show you the program. Let's run it the code first. Okay, I will input the three integer. Okay, let's try with 2, then 4 and 5. Okay, I will input the integer a as 2, integer b as 4, and integer c is 5. Okay, then we will run. Okay, angka terbesar adalah 5. Okay, this is the value of the max is the larger integer. Okay, we will try it again. We will try different integer. Okay, if I put two same integer. Okay, if I put two same integer, let's put 5, then 5, and the last one is 2. Okay, and the output is 5 because 5 is the larger integer that we input, even there is two same integer we input. Okay, the last one I will try to input the negative value. Let's see. Okay, if I put negative value, negative 6, then negative 2, and negative 5, I mean. The last one is, let's try 0. What will happen? Okay, and the value will be 0 because 0 is the larger integers with the three integer I input. Okay, so that is explanation for the exercise 3. Thank you for hearing, and the next exercise will be delivered by my friend.
Welcome back. It is with me again, Muhammad Satria Rahmatullah. So we are gonna doing the exercise 4. In exercise 4, a program receive input of three integers from the user. After receiving the input of the three integers, the program provides output in the form of the largest odd integer entered by the user. And the note, it should be noted that there is a possibility that there are no odd numbers entered by the user at all. So we're gonna look at the code here. The first thing first, as usual, we we use the library IOStream, and we use the namespace std for easier coding. The second thing in line 6, we declare a variable a, b, c for the three numbers that will be inputted by the user, and max for the maximum of integer. So in line 7, we see out the masukan angka a, and then we input a, and then the same with line 9 and line 11. We with different variable, with variable b and variable c. In this, why we declaring max is max minus 214 blah 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 etc. Because minus the 21 etc. is the minimal value that the variable, the integer comment can read. And then we're gonna go into the if statement. In the first things first, if a modulus 2 it's not equal to 0, so this is a odd number. If the modulo does not equal 0, it is a odd number, so the max equals a. And if b modulo 2 does not equal 0, and this is n syntax in C++, and b is greater than max, then max become b. And then after that, if c modulo 2 does not equal 0 and c is larger than max, the max becomes c. And if all of, then the last if is if max does not equal minus 2147 and etc., we see out the angka ganjil terbesar adalah max. So I will run the code, and then we will try using many different number. So first thing first, we're gonna use the all of the odd number. For the example, when we use 1, 3, and 5, and we got 5, which is correct. And then the second term, we use one even number in the program. 1, 2, and 5. We get 5. What about when we were using all of the program, all of the input is an even number? So we're using 2, 4, and 6. We get nothing according to the rules. It is correct. So thank you for your attention. I'm signing out.
Sorry. Hello everyone, back with me again, and here I will explain to you what about exercise 5. At first, we need to the exercise tell us to input a number, and later we will declare it as n in uppercase, and after that we need to input some positive integer as many as n we input before, and the output of the program is the largest number entered by the user. And here we should be note that the negative integer should be ignored. So I will show you how the code looks like. First, okay, here we are the program, and as usually we need to make sure three of this thing, the main function and the include live stream and using MSTD to make the program run properly. And here is the difference. First, we need to declare the n variable. And variable is contain the integer, which is we used to indicate the total of the num that we will input later in the second loop. And and num we will use it to store the number that we will display later in the last of the program. And here, don't forget to declare the counter variable to limit the looping, and the max value to store the largest integer. And here we say we need to assign the value to the n variable here that we use to indicate the total of the num, the number that we will display at the end of the program. So here's the note here. We need to note here. We need to pay attention here that while the n is less than or equal to 0, the program will just stay there. Will just stay there unless you enter the positive number. So if you always input the negative number, it will just run here, not continue to here. So make sure that you are input the positive integer. And after that, we enter the main loop where we store the num value as many as n. First, we need to make the counter as the parameter. Why? So this program will run while the counter is less than n. So the initial value of the counter is 0. Since the initial value of the counter is 0, so it will run until it's touch the is the same or less than n value we enter first. So here we see out the masukkan angka positif, so we can look the chain more obvious, look the say in to the number more obvious, and here we check the condition. So here, as you remember from the exercise, from the question, we need to note there is possibility that the number we input is negative value. So this is how we can handle it by using this statement where where when when the num is less than 0 or it's negative, it will continue, it will skip this, it will skip this statement. So it will back again to the checking condition, and unless you enter the positive value, it will just skip that block. And if you enter the positive value, it will run this statement, which is if number is more than max value, which is the initialized max value is 0, the max value will be assigned with the num. So let's say you input the 5. Let's say you input the 5 here, and of course the 5 is more than 0, so the max value will become the 5. So here, don't forget to make this statement because it will increase the counter with initial value is 0. Because if you don't do it, the this looping will just run forever unless you will force break it. And after some statement, we finally at the display here, we will display the angka terbesar or largest integer number with its max value. So here I will tell you how it works in the real case. So here let's say we need to make here we the program tell us to ask us to enter a positive number, which is will be total of the number that we will input in the next loop. So let's say we input 3 here. After that, we will see the next loop. Let's say the next loop, and here we will be enter the positive number here. As you can see, it's positive. It says positive, angka positive, and here we will and input 3, 5, and 6. And yeah, as the result, the largest integer is 6 because yeah, that's the logic. And in the other case, we need to look what we will get if the n value is negative. And here it will look like. So here is the program right here. Let's try. We will input the n value here first, and we try input -3. And yeah, it will not enter the main loop. And let's input the main one, and still same. But what if we need to input what if we input the positive value and it will enter the main loop? But we will see it if it here is the negative value. Nah, nah, nah. -1, -11, -11. Yeah, the loop is not gonna be continue to the next iteration. So it will be in the first iteration. It will be forever in the first iteration. So it will, yeah, if you input the positive integer, it will be going to the next iteration. And here is the last I can say. And yeah, we will meet again in the next number in the next exercise. Yeah, and see you.
Hello everyone, back with me again. So I will explain about the exercise 6 now. So in exercise 6, we need to make a program that replaces an input of the integer, okay? It will be signed by the n, okay? After that, the program asks the user to enter an integer, as many as n, okay? The output of the program is the number of odd numbers and the sum of all odd numbers, okay? So we will first we need to input integer as n, okay? Then after that we will input again the the number as many as the n integer, okay? So this is the code. This is the code. Okay, first one we need to write include your stream to the library and using namespace std. So we don't need to write the std in each row letter, okay? So first we need to input the n, okay? Input the n and the number, then input counter for count how many uh, integer number we add, we input. Then third one is input the count odd. This is for counting the odd number. Then the last one is input the sum number. It will be the sum of the how many odd number we have, okay? So later we need next we need to make the cout for show to the user for masukkan banyak angka, okay? Then this is will be make the scene more clear, okay? So scene is cin, we need to input the number, okay, here in the cin. Then this is where the cycle or the loop will happen, okay? While and the number is more more smaller than the zero, then cout will be masukkan bilangan positif ke the counter plus one, okay? So the cout will say if we put the n is smaller than zero, then the cout will be masukkan bilangan positif ke counter plus one. Then we need to input the number again, okay? Then the different scenario will be while counter more smaller than the n, okay, um, the number first we put for the n, okay, for the counter n, will be the program will X again masukkan bilangan positif to the counter plus 1. We need to input number back again, okay. Then the scenario is if the number we input is more smaller than 0, then it will be continue. Okay, the other scenario is if num no num modulo 2 is not same as 0, then count out will be plus by 1, okay, and the sum out will be will be increased by the previous number. Okay, this is the second loop. Okay, second loop, okay, and after the loop will be counter plus 1. Okay, after is it n, the loop is n, dan C out will be jumlah angka ganjil adalah, okay, C outnya, and the C out the second C out is hasil penjumlahan angka ganjil. This is the sum of out. Okay, I will show you the code. Let's run it first. Okay, kita we need to input many integer. Okay, first I will 4. Okay, after I input the 4, will be the n, and we need to input more number as many as the n, which is 4. Okay, I will input the first number, positive number, and the second one, third one, and the last one. Okay, this will be the C out. Okay, jumlah angka ganjil is 3, and hasil penjumlahan angka ganjil is 13. Okay, this is it get the C out. Let's try another one. We run it again. If I first I input 7, it will X for 7 integer. Okay, 6, 3, 7, 1. What if we add negative? Okay, let's try it. Nah, if we add negative, the negative integer will be ignored. Okay, so the program will add another positive number, 9, 4, and the last one is 2 maybe. So this is the C out. Okay, jumlah angka ganjil is 4 because the odd number is only 3, 7, and 9. Okay, and the hasil penjumlahan angka ganjil is the value of all the odd number that get ditambahkan. Okay, thank you for
So
the attention.
back with me again, and here I think it will be the last explanation of this section, and I get the exercise 7 as the closing. The exercise 7 asks us to make a program that will run continuously, asking the user to enter an integer, and it will be stopped if it's the user input the negative integer. And the output of the program is the largest positive integer, the average, and the smallest positive integer entered by the user. So there are three output of the program. I'm sorry. There is not here. If the user never enter a positive integer at all, the program output is just showing the 0 as nothing requested information will be displayed. So this is the code will be look like. Of course, as usually we use the include IO strip using MSTD and inman like the standard of the C++. And the first we need to declare the num variable within the type of the int. This will be store the input of the user. And here the max file you need to initialize it with the 0 and min file with the 0 too, and sum and count is for calculate the average. So this is the first loop. The first loop will make sure the program will run continuously to ask the user to input the positive integer, and unless the user did not break this rule, because the program will stop if the user input the number that less than 0 or the negative. So we use the break statement here to escape from the loop. But let's say we input the 5 and 2. In the first iteration of the first loop, we need to check it if the num is greater than 0. If yes, we need to check it again. Is it the count is equal to 0? Yeah, of course, because the value of the count initialized with 0. And after that, we need to assign the value of maxval and minval with the first num, which is 5. Yeah, and yeah, this of course not be execute because this one is already execute. And yeah, what we're gonna doing is to assign the value of sum with the num plus sum, the value of num plus the sum, which is 0. The num value is recently is 5, and the value of sum is 0. So the value of sum now is the 5, and the count of course will be increased by 1 because we need it to calculate the average. And after that, the program will ask us to enter the num value again, which is like I said before, is 2. And here we will check it if it's greater or 0, and is it yes. But this is the difference. This is say if the count is equal than 0, the max value will equal than 0. But the reason value of count is 1. Yeah, from this we get the 1 from this one. So this code will not be execute because the count is not longer 0. And instead of execute that, we need to execute the else statement here. So it will say if the num is greater than maxval, and we need to assign the maxval with the num. I think the reason num is 2 here. Is 2, and the latest maxval is 5. So is it 2 is greater than 5? Of course not. So we didn't need to execute this one. And next we need to check it again whether the num is less than minval, which is latest minval is 5, and the num is not the reason value of num is 2. And let's say 2 is 2 less than minval. Yes, of course, yes. And we need to assign minval with the num, the reason value of num, which is 2. So after that, you remember from the latest iteration, we got the value of the sum is 5. So now we need to assign the value of sum with the value of sum plus the value of num, which is 5 plus 2 will be result in 7. Now the count is increased by 1. The latest value of count is 1, and now 1 plus 1 will be 2. Yeah, after that, we escape the loop, and yeah, this is of course not gonna be executed because the count is not zero anymore. And yeah, this is gonna be this is statement is the final result of the this program will be this is the average. We use the double type of data, and here how we calculate the average. We need to value of the sum divide by value of count. And after that, we just need to display it by using cout statement. And here I will show you how the program looks like in the real case. So let's say I will input the 5 and 2 like we used in the previous example. So 5, 2. So the program will just run continuously unless we input the negative value. So it just end here, and the value of min file and max file will be the max file is 5 and the min file is 2, and the average is 7 divided by 2, and which is 3.5. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think that's all from me. And because this is my last explanation, I will say goodbye to you. Bye bye.
Hello, welcome back with me again. So, first thing first, exercise 8. In the exercise 8, a program asks the user to enter a positive integer. Then the output of the program is to list all the factors of the numbers. Now we look at the code. First thing first, as usual, we use IOStream library using namespace, and then the fifth one, we declare a variable n an input for the user, and we enter a variable count as a counter uh, for the looping. And then line 7 we masukkan angka, and then we input the n, and this is line 9. While n less than 0, cout masukkan angka positif, cin n. So the no negative value can escape this looping. And then after that, we use a for loop for integer I equals 1 and I less or equal than n, I plus plus. If n modulus 1 is 0, which is uh, 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 pembagi daripada bilangan itu, we see out faktor ke count. Count, we use count as 1, and then we print out the I as the divider of the n, and then we use to count up plus plus, so the loop start all over again, and then we see out n line for that. So we are gonna start running. We are gonna try to run the code. We masukkan angka. For example, we use 10, and then there are the list of the factors that can divide 10, so we get the remainder 0. If you want more, if we include -1, for example, we have to include a positive number, -2, -3, until we include a positive number for that. So That's all. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, back with me again for the exercise number 9. So, in exercise number 9, we will make a program that asks the user to enter a positive integer. Then the output of the program will is to write the number of the factor, the number. Okay. So we after we input the integer, positive integer, then the output will be the factors of the number we input. Okay. Let's see the code that I and my team made. Okay, number 99999. Okay, this is one. Okay, as usually we write first the include of iStream and using namespace std always. So the first one is need to input the integer of num and the factors. Okay, we need to input it so the program will know it as the integer of num and the factor. After that, we need to make the cout for masukin bilangan as always. This is for the cin, so we can input the bilangan, positive bilangan. Okay. Then we need to start the loop. Okay. While, okay, this is the first scenario. While num, we input the num is more smaller than 0, then cout will be masukkan bilangan positif. Okay. This is to make the user input the positive number. So if user try to input the a negative number or number more below than 0, the program will ask again until 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 the until the user input the positive integer. Okay. After that, if user input the positive integer, then the program will start for in one. Okay, so if we this is also another loop. Okay, if integer first we need to input the integer one. We need to make it. We need to sign it by one. Okay, the number, the value of one. Then if I is more smaller or equal to the num we input, then the I will be increased by one. Then if modulo number I is equal to 0, then the factor will increase by 1. Then after it done, the cout will be jumlah faktor adalah faktor. Okay. The cout will be jumlah faktor adalah to the factor. This is factor increase by 1. Okay. Let's run the code to see is it right or not. Okay. First, we need to input the bilangan. Okay. Masukkan bilangan. I will input 6. And we enter. And the program will say jumlah faktor is 4. Okay. Please press any key to continue. So if I input bilangan is 6, then the cout will be jumlah faktor adalah 4. Okay. Let's try another. Let's try 2. What? Okay. Oh, it is. We need to run code again. Okay. I will try 2. Then the jumlah factor is 2 because 2 is only can create by 1 multiplied by 2 and 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, that is all explanation from me. Thank you for your attention. The next exercise will be delivered by my friend.
So you meet with me again. As the last exercise, we asked to make a program to ask the user to enter a positive integer, and then the output of the program is to determine whether the number is a prime number or not. So let's look at the code. Here we got the integer n for the input, for the value of the input, and count 0 for the how many number can be divided by the n number, and it start from 0. We cout masukkan angka and cin n as the input for the user, and we use a while loop. While n less than 0, cout bilangan harus positif sebagai syarat agar bilangannya tidak negatif. And for integer I equals 1 and I less than n, I plus plus. If n modulo I equals 0, count plus plus. So for the example, we use 5 for this. If n equals 5, 5 modulo 1 is 0, right? So the count will go up. So the count will be 1. And if we use if you use 2, this is not the parameter is not syaratnya tidak terpenuhi, sehingga so the count will not go up. So it starts through 3, 4, and then 5, and then the count will go up again until it got to 2. If count, so we go to the if statement. If count equals 2, it is a prime number, because prime number it can be divided by a two number, itself and 1, and else, and it is Cout bukan prima. So if else, the else is not a even a prime number. So let's start the code. Let's try to code. We can code like I said before. We use the 5 for example. There's 5 is a prime number. So if we use -1, we the program asks to enter a positive number, -2 positive number. Okay, so we use 7, we use 6, and bukan prima. That was the case. Thank you very much.